It looks like the upcoming ASUS ROG Ally 2 has been leaked, at least with some images, and we're actually getting two different versions. Now, this is coming to us from the FCC. I guess they're going through test right now with these units. And I gotta say, I got some mixed feelings on the overall look here, but here it is. And keep in mind, these are really early images. This is definitely a prototype here with the casting of the shell and everything like that. But along with the leaked images, we also have some specs, and it looks like they're going to be using that same 7-inch 120 hertz display. I'm not exactly sure if it's going to be the exact same one that we've seen in the ROG Ally and the Ally X. And of course, it does look like Xbox is going to have their hand in at least one of these, as you can tell by the colored buttons on the white version here. But taking a look at the top, looks like we've got our power button, 3.5mm audio jack, micro SD card slot. It also looks like they're going to be using the same ventilation system that we saw on the ROG Ally X with that vent up top to help cool off the display. We've also got our volume rocker and two USB Type-C ports. Now, I'm sure at least one of these is going to be USB 4. Would be nice to see USB 5, but I don't think they're going to be adding it to the Ally 2. And the specs here look great, at least for the black version that we're seeing. Now, I did mention that I've got some mixed feelings on the overall design, and it really comes down to the rear of the unit. As you can see, it's got handles, so it's kind of just like a controller. It's probably going to be pretty comfortable the way it's sitting. I mean, it definitely looks very ergonomic, like an Xbox controller. And as for the battery size, there's two different variants. So it looks like right now, at least with all the information we have, the black version is going to have a 99 watt hour battery or 100 watt hour battery right there at the TSA limit. And the white version supposedly has a 65 watt hour battery. But judging by this prototype, I mean, it looks like a thick boy. And again, it is a prototype. This is not going to be the finished product. So it could just be using the same shell, or they're going to use the same shell throughout. And later on down the road, we'd have enough room to upgrade to a 99 watt hour battery. But specs are much different here between the two devices. And if we take a closer look at the black version, you can see that we've got this extra button, same thing on the white version. It's got an Xbox button. We just couldn't see it on the white one in the images that we got because they're not great images in the first place, but at least we've got something. Now, the last thing I wanted to talk about here were the specs. Because with the recent leaks, we also got a spec tag image, and yeah, you can definitely make this out on a decent monitor. I'm not sure how well it's coming across in a YouTube video. But the specs here are looking pretty awesome on both of these units, depending on how you look at it. Starting out with the black version here, the RC73X1. This is going to be the more powerful unit, and with this, we're getting that 8-core, 16-thread Ryzen Z2 Extreme. With this, we get that 16 compute unit RDNA 3.5 iGPU, 64 gigabytes of LPDDR5X Ram at 8,533 megahertz, and a 99 watt-hour battery. We've done a lot of testing with the HX370 on the channel, and it's basically the same chip, but the HX370 does have more cores. I'd love to see it in an 8-core configuration. That way we can send a little more over to that really powerful 16 compute unit iGPU. Next up, we've got the white version, known as the RC73YA. This is going to be powered by an AMD 4-core 8-thread APU up to 20 watts. In fact, it looks like the AMD Aeirth Plus, which was the successor to the Steam Decks APU. We saw some leaks for this chip months ago in build manifests, and it looks like it'll do up to 3.8 gigahertz on the CPU and 1.8 on the GPU. We're not exactly sure how much RAM or how fast the RAM is going to be running in this unit, but it's got that 65 watt hour battery. I'm sure we're not going to get 64 gigs with this. It's probably going to be a 24 gig or maybe a 32 gig configuration. Probably 24 gigs like we saw in the ROG Ally X, just to keep that cost down. But this is pretty cool to see this APU really hitting the real world market in a handheld. Pricing isn't available yet for these handhelds, but I can guarantee you that the black version is going to cost a pretty penny with the specs that we've seen so far. They're going to try to keep the cost lower on that white version, and with that APU, it's not going to keep up with that Ryzen Z2 Extreme, but it should do a pretty decent job with 720p gaming. I mean, as we see with the Steam Deck and 800p, a little bit of an upgrade there on that CPU clock and GPU clock. I'm really excited about both of these, but I'd love to know your thoughts in the comments below. Do you like the overall design? Do you hate the controller handles around back? What kind of price point should these hit the market at? Let me know down below. But that's going to wrap it up for this one, and as soon as we get some more information, I will post it up on my community section. That's it for this one. Like always, thanks for watching.